All right, welcome everybody. So this video, it's going to be all about fasting. So specifically resetting your life with fasting. And I just recently got off of a 2-day fast or a 48-hour fast. I was going to go for 3 days. So today was technically supposed to be another fasting day. And I decided today I'm going to break the fast with fruit. I'm going to eat fruit throughout the rest of today, and then tomorrow I'm gonna officially break my fast and go back to my normal diet. Well, go on to a new diet. I'm not going back to my old diet. That was the point of the fast, was to kind of just reset my stomach in order to get me ready to start on a new diet when monk mode starts. So I'm going to be going on to a new diet starting on Monday when monk mode starts, and then Sunday is Easter, so I'm just going to be eating with my family and stuff. So today is only fruits, and then tomorrow I can eat what I want, and then Monday I'm going on a diet. But this video, it's going to be all about fasting and how you can reset your life with fasting. First, I'm just going to talk about what is fasting. And the basic explanation of fasting, it's just refraining from eating for a certain period of time. At least this form of fasting that I'm talking about. There's other types of fasts. So, for example, you could fast from dopamine. So you could take a break from social media and easy dopamine for a while and kind of just sit in a room and stare at a wall for a couple days straight, and this will reset the dopamine receptors in the brain. So that could be a form of fasting. Fasting from sex. You can fast when you're not having sex. People call it celibacy, but that's just a form of fasting. So fasting in and of itself is refraining from consumption. So a dry fast, there's 4 different types of fasts I have here. So a dry fast is going to be no food and no water for an extended period of time. Typically people will do this for minimum 24 hours. I like to do 3 days. I feel like 3 days is usually my sweet spot. I've never gone over 3 days, so I really wouldn't know, but 3 days is usually my sweet spot. And sometimes people will go up to 7 days for a dry fast and a wet fast. The next one I'm going to talk about, the next 2 I'm going to talk about tie into this as well. So I've heard of people going for 7 days for a full reset of the body. And what happens during these 7 days is basically the body starts to eat away at your cells, and it doesn't eat the good stuff right away. It waits and it eats away at all of the bad stuff and the toxins. I'm going to explain this later. But if you go for 7 days, it's supposed to be a complete reset on your body and a complete detox. So I'm eventually going to try to shoot for 7 days, but I struggle with 3 right now, so I'm still staying at 3 for now. And then eventually I'll probably go for a 7-day fast. But 3 days is effective for just resetting your mind, resetting your mental state, as well as just resetting your body and your stomach. And if you have any cravings and addictions, you can essentially divert your attention off of these cravings and addictions. And after the fast, usually they don't come back unless you go and do the thing first. So you can break addictions just by allowing your body to clean itself out and allowing yourself to sit with the discomfort of it. And then over time you kind of just gain this level of mental resilience and almost peace within yourself. And after that point, you really don't have cravings for anything anymore. And so that's why I like 3 days, because after 3 days is right around when this specific benefit starts to really take effect. So we talked about a dry fast. A dry fast is going to be no food, no water. A wet fast is going to allow you to have water. So drinking water doesn't break a fast. Breaking a fast is consuming something that will raise your insulin. So like, for example, I take my supplements on a fast. That's fine. But if I were to drink a protein shake, that would raise my insulin level, and then that would break my fast. So there's the wet fast. You can drink water on the wet fast. And then there's other people, from what I've seen, have talked about doing a fruit fast, which essentially a fruit fast is just going to be eating nothing but fruit, obviously. And this is effective because fruit is very easy for the body to break down, and it does have detoxifying effects on the body. So if you are eating nothing but fruit, your body is going to be able to kind of clean out toxins and just detoxify, as well as you're still going to be saving energy because fruits have the enzymes in them needed to break themselves down. So your body's not using its own, so you save energy that way. So a fruit fast can just be effective for detoxing the body. If you don't want to do a real fast, like a full fast, and you want to go on a diet, I would recommend doing a fruit fast first. Just do like 3 to 7 days of a fruit fast. Actually, I think for fruit, it is recommended to do a full 7 days if you want a full detox. So go 7 days on the fruit fast, and then immediately after jump onto whatever diet you're looking to adopt. So the last one I have here is going to be intermittent fasting. And essentially, a lot of really successful entrepreneurs will use intermittent fasting in their lifestyle as essentially a productivity tool. So what it is you fast for an 18-hour window of the day, and then you only eat for a 6-hour window. And what this does is you will essentially leave the morning hours to fast, and during the morning hours, you'll get your work done. And when you're fasted, you're more productive, and you have increased energy levels and increased mental clarity. So if you're fasting in the morning and getting your work done, you typically will be a lot more productive. And this is because you're giving your body the proper amount of time to break down the food. So I personally don't do intermittent fasting simply because I'm younger. So I just need more food throughout the day. And maybe I'm coping. Maybe I'm wrong about this. But I feel like before you're really properly developed, you do need to make sure that your body is getting enough food. So I'm still eating in the mornings, but I only eat fruit in the morning now. So instead of having any sort of heavier meals or any cooked food, so instead of having like eggs in the morning, instead of having like potatoes and hash in the form of hash browns, like I don't want to eat anything heavy. I don't want to eat any carbs, and I don't want to eat any cooked protein. I really just want to eat fruit, and essentially this just keeps the body clean and clear, and it helps to continue detoxifying the body in the morning. And then at halfway through the day is when I'll start eating vegetables. So I'll eat raw vegetables, so probably a salad most of the time. And then after that point, so after about 3 o'clock is when I'll eat cooked food. So after 3, I'll have 2 meals that are lower in carbs. Well, I'll have one meal that has carbs, right? One meal that's just protein and vegetables, or a little bit of dairy, so like yogurt, cottage cheese, things of that nature, and then some protein with that. So vegetables and protein for my first meal after 3, and then I'll eat one meal with carbs. So one meal with either potatoes or rice. And that way, for the most part, I'm eating fruit for most of the day, and then I'm eating vegetables for a still majority of the day, and then I'm having a little bit of protein at the end of the day. And this just seems to be a balanced diet for someone who is still developing, right? Someone who's still growing, because I'm still technically a teenager. So it's important that I get all of my vital nutrients throughout the day, and spreading it out this way essentially works with my body's clock, or the circadian rhythm. And the body wants to detoxify in the morning, and it wants to digest the food in the morning. So that's why keeping it to just fruit and water is important. So another thing you can add would be lemon juice and water in the morning can help detoxify the body. But this is all for after the fast. So if you are going to do the fast, what are the benefits of fasting? So the first one will be increased energy. This is the first thing you'll notice, I think, or it'll be the mental clarity, but you'll typically notice these two together. So I started my fast on Thursday, and I had to go to school because I had Thursday in school. Friday I had off. Yesterday was Friday. So I had one day off, one day I was in school, but I was going to be fine because I only had to get through the first half of the day, and then the fast part of the day would kind of hit me as I got into my lunchtime and after school when I would normally eat. So as soon as I got home, and it took me probably about an hour or two because I still get my normal crash, but I it didn't last as long this time because I was fasted. And about an hour or two after getting home, it just kind of hit me, and I got inspiration to make a YouTube video, and I just sat down, wrote the script, made the video, and from that point, all I wanted to do and all I really could do was just keep working and keep making content and keep thinking about the content that I'm going to make, because I just had so much energy. I had to do something with it, right? So I ended up making a lot of videos over the course of the last 2 days just because I wanted to do things. I wanted to do everything that I'd been thinking about doing for so long, and I finally just had this burst of energy to go and do it. And I plan to maintain this based on the diet I'm adopting. So I'm going to adopt a diet that makes sure I can maintain this. But it's crazy. I don't know. I don't understand it, because you don't have food in your body, but it just feels like your energy continuously goes up the more you work when you're fasted. So increased energy, and then also mental clarity. So you're going to clear out any bullshit within the mind. You're going to clear out any bullshit thoughts, any crowding, any just anything within the mind that is just a waste. It's not supposed to be there, right? So when you feel brain fog, it's just waste within the mind. It's toxins in the mind and the brain, and the brain just isn't doing what's necessary to clean that out. When you fast, you allow your body to do that, and then that allows you to think clearly again. And another thing that happens as a result of this is your thoughts in general just start to become way more positive. So I noticed I didn't even really do this on purpose, but normally before my videos, like it's normal, I just like kind of get myself into the zone, into flow. Like I just talk to myself here for a minute and like just kind of go over what I'm going to teach in the video, just to kind of get like a general idea before I press record. The last 2 days, every time I do this, I'm just like super hyped, super happy, just super excited to talk and like teach what I'm teaching. And I never used to feel like this, even though I was excited. I just wouldn't get like super hype and excited to be sitting here and talking and teaching what I'm interested in, you know? And so your thoughts in general just become way, way, way more positive. So that was just one example, but in general, all of my thoughts were more positive. Like, I have a lot of anxiety about what I put out there and like about what I create. So I normally wouldn't think too much about it, and I would just do it and put it out. This time, every video I was making, I was telling myself this is going to be the best video I'm ever going to put out. This video is going to be amazing. Everybody's going to love it. And like normally I just wouldn't think these things to myself. The fast helped me clear out toxins in my body that were causing me to feel negative about what I was doing. It's not that there was actually any negativity or real anxiety, because I love sitting here making the videos, but it's more just like I'm scared of wanting the video to do well out of disappointment. And this just wasn't a thought in my mind at all. This didn't exist within my mind. There was no anxiety about it. I was just excited to put out a video that I thought was going to be my best video. And so you just become a lot more positive, a lot more upbeat. I realized I'm a lot more social when I'm fasting. So after I've fasted for a good amount of time, and even the first day, I notice I'm just not only a lot more social, but my the way I articulate my words is a lot clearer. So that's a nice benefit. And then the last one is going to be it essentially. So when you don't eat food, right? I explained this slightly earlier, but now I'm going to go in detail. So when you don't eat food, when the body doesn't have food to digest, what it does is it starts to eat away and digest and break down all of the toxins in your body, all of the bullshit that's in the body and in the brain. So what you're essentially doing is allowing your body to do its natural cleaning. So it's essentially like allowing your body to clean your room, right? So it's like there's a mess because the body has been so focused on digesting and eating more food that all of the extra food and extra energy that it hasn't been able to break down, it just kind of throws wherever, and it just stores it wherever. So, for example, the fat on your body is just a storage of food that hasn't quite been broken down yet, and the body's still working on breaking that food down. And it can't do that until you've allowed it the time it needs, fasted, to rest, digest, and then start to break down and eat away at all of the toxins in the body and all of the unimportant cells. So the body starts to eat itself when it doesn't have anything else to eat, but it eats all of the bad stuff first. So when you're fasting, your body is going to start eating all of the bad stuff within your body, all of the toxins and all of the fat, all of the extra fat on your body. So it's essentially like allowing your body the time that it needs in order to do its spring cleaning, right? So I like to call it spring cleaning because I've just finished a monk mode cycle, and so I'm essentially spring cleaning. I'm cleaning out all of the stress and all of the bullshit to reset myself and get ready for the next one. So this actually perfectly leads into my next point: how to actually use fasting to reset your life. So the first reason that I did this, and this fast in particular, was to break some addictions and to break some mental patterns, right? So these mental patterns and habits were keeping me from doing the work that I needed to do. And so I needed to break that pattern by fasting, by allowing myself the time fasted to find inner peace again, just in my work and just in what I'm creating. And so now I've essentially allowed myself to refocus my attention and my energy onto my work and what I'm creating instead of on consumption, right? And so when you do fast and you set the intention for this, you can dissolve any addictions that you might have, any old habits, old patterns, and just negative ways of thinking that you might want to get rid of. You can do this with fasting. So I would recommend, if you are looking to make this a permanent change, 3 days. Do a 3-day fast, intending to break this specific pattern, this specific habit, whatever. As your body is going through breaking down all of the toxins in your body, you're going to have negativity start to come up, right? You're going to have all of these addictions, all of these cravings start to surface, right? This is how the fast actually works for you. You use these things being brought up to then dissolve them with consciousness, the same way that you would dissolve a negative emotion. I have videos about this if you need more information. But essentially just use your conscious awareness to take the thing that's being brought up by the fast. Usually it's going to be a craving of sorts. And just completely dissolve the craving. Dissolving the craving in this state is very powerful because you are fasted, right? So the next thing is going to be basically the opposite. So same principles, but opposite application. Building new habits, right? So if you are struggling to build a new habit, if you're struggling to do something that you've been wanting to do for so long, fast. If you fast, I guarantee at least halfway through the first day, if not the second day, you will start doing that thing because there's nothing else to do. Your brain will essentially make you do something. And so if you set the intention to do this thing that you've been struggling to get yourself to do, you can do it very, very easily on the fast. And from what I've found, any progress that you make on a fast, anything that you do on a fast, anything you build on a fast. So like, for example, I made my first YouTube video on a fast. I think I was on day 2 of another fast. So when you do things on a fast, it permanently ingrains this habit into your brain. So for example, before this fast that I'm talking about, I couldn't have sat down and recorded a YouTube video if I knew I was going to upload it, right? I just couldn't. I not even had too much anxiety, too much self-doubt. I didn't think that I knew enough to sit here and talk. I fasted for 3 days, and on the second day, I was talking to some people, and I was talking about the YouTube channel and how I wanted to start, and they told me just make a video. So I ended up deciding, yeah, you know what, I got nothing else to do today because of that fast. I'm gonna just make a YouTube video and see how it comes out, and I'm just gonna upload it and see what happens. After I made and uploaded that video, I loved the process so much that I wanted to make another one right away. Like right after I was done, I was like, now I want to do another one. And I don't think this would have happened for me if I wasn't on a fast at this point. Now, after the fast was done, it was like a couple more weeks, maybe even more like a month, and I didn't upload anything. And then all of a sudden I started uploading again, and it just came naturally to me. It's like the process, there was no resistance to the process anymore because I had overcome it in the fast, right? So now I was just easily able to start making videos a few times a week. And then now I'm going to start doing them every day, right? Again, I wouldn't have been able to start this process without the fast. It would have taken me more time and more work to get to the same point without the fast. It's not that I wouldn't have been able to make YouTube. I'd still probably be here, but I wouldn't have made as much progress as quickly and adopted the habit so quickly if it wasn't for the fast. So the other thing is using the mental clarity. So when you do get this clear mental state where you can just see everything, use it in order to actually get clear on the direction you're going. So I started my fast because I knew I wanted to do monk mode. But at the same time, I had a lot of things that I just wasn't quite sure about when it came to monk mode. So I didn't know, for example, I'm still debating on which sport I want to play. I think I'm just going to do all of the ones that I want to play and then prioritize one because I don't see myself not playing any of the sports, but I also see myself becoming professional in at least one of them. So I need to pick one to focus on, as well as I needed to figure out how I'm going to manage my time in order to build my businesses, because I have two things that I'm working on right now that are separate, but both of which I can fit into my day if I do it right. And I didn't have the level of mental clarity or awareness to actually like sit down and really think about this and really figure this out. So I fasted. And in the fast, it basically forced me to clear everything out, clear out all the bullshit, clear out everything blocking me. And then it allowed me to see what was blocking me instead of just feeling blocked but being blinded to it. So I was able to see what was actually blocking me. And that allowed me to remove those things. And it also gave me the ability to clearly define how I want to move forward and clearly define what I want to do moving forward. And so I managed to create my monk mode in order to match and manage everything that I wanted to accomplish based on the fact that I also have school, based on my limited time, and based on the diet that I wanted to adopt. So I was able to actually sit down and think about these things and look at these things clearly and be like, what is it I want? What is it I don't want? What can I keep? What can I remove? And how can I make sure to fit everything into my day? And I'm sitting here now. I've done this entire process and I have a very clear structure for when I start on Monday. And there's going to be no questions as to what I'm doing or where I'm going now. Whereas before, if I had done the same thing without fasting, I might still be unsure, or I would have half-assed the process, not even intentionally, but just I wouldn't have put as much thought into it, because fasted, I want completion. I'm out of this consumption state, and so I actually want to create to the highest level, and so it essentially forces me into really putting effort and energy into getting this right. And so with the mental clarity that I was given, I basically just used that in order to clearly define where I wanted to go and figure out everything I needed to do moving forward. And then obviously, if you're looking to reset your life, this is going to be huge. If you know exactly where you're going to be going moving forward, then it just removes a lot of the blockages and a lot of the stress for when the process actually begins. So it's like Monday when I wake up, I have no questions as to what I'm doing. I just have to do it, right? I know exactly what I'm to be doing when I wake up to when I go to bed. And so there's no question, there's no like mental resistance. It's just a matter of doing it. It'll take me a few days to get into the flow of it before it's easy, but I'll still be able to get into it easier because there's no questions as to what I'm doing, right? Or when I'm doing it or how I'm going to do it. Does that make sense? So my last point is just going to quickly be how to actually break a fast. So the first time I fasted, I broke it with yogurt and I broke it with berries. Excuse me. So I broke it with yogurt, a bowl of yogurt, berries, and honey. Because I eat plain Greek yogurt, so I do a little bit of honey with it and then some fruit. I liked this, but I just noticed that my stomach felt heavy after. So I prefer to do now, and doing a little more research, I prefer to do just straight fruits. And this is for the same reason I explained when I was talking about the fruit fast. But essentially, fruits are the easiest for the body to break down, and they help with detoxifying the body. So right after you fast, the best way to end it, the best way to break it would be to eat some fruit, because fruit will be easy on the body to get it warmed up to eating again, because you've gone an extended period of time without it. You've allowed the body or the stomach to settle and relax. And so the best way to wake it back up is with something easy, right? And then the other thing is, when you do break your fast, so for my intention was to get focused onto monk mode and get off of certain addictions and get off of certain thinking loops and thinking patterns. When you get off the fast, though, you have to remember to maintain whatever thinking pattern you adopted and whatever state of being you adopted or whatever habits you adopted in the fast, because otherwise you will end up reverting back to your original state or your original state of being, your state of mind. But it's going to be less solidified than it was before the fast, so it'll be easy to break out of again. But at the same time, there's no point in doing this because the fast is to get you on the right direction. So if you simply maintain that after the fast, it'll just be the easiest for you to actually get into the flow of whatever you're trying to create next, instead of having it be like this weird up and down cycle where you do a fast, make a lot of progress in the fast, and then right after you're done fasting, you just go back to normal. That just doesn't really make any sense, because, I mean, of course it's still good for you to fast, but there's really no point in fasting if you intend to just go back to eating the same foods afterwards or go back to doing the same things afterwards. So, yeah, that's all I got for today's video, though. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.